You, Local 10, was very important in the Oscar Grant movement, because I contribute and really say that had it not been for them organizing, connecting with the community, and then walking out there in them docks and shutting down the ports, we would have never got the justice that we got. So with much love, I want to bring up Clarence Thomas and Jack Heyman, who is responsible for that movement in itself.
Right! All right!
Brothers and sisters, I've never been at a loss for words, but today I have to say I'm losing my voice. But when you talk about revolutionary action, I'm going to give you an example of what that really means. Revolutionary action is when workers who are critical to the global economy, such as the movement of international cargo in the 5th largest port in the United States of America, lay down their tools and don't go to work. Because when we did that, we sent a message not only to the local officials and the DA and the judges, but we sent a message around the world that when workers stand up, we can make change. One of the things that you don't know is that we were under a tremendous amount of pressure not to take that action. I remember Michael Raines, the attorney for Johann Messerly, saying, I just don't understand what the Longshoremen's Action have to do with justice for Oscar Grant. But he understood what it meant. Because we as working people, we as people who are oppressed, we have one thing in common, and a common enemy.
That's right.
And one common enemy and a common war, and we're fighting it on many, many fronts.
Yes, sir.
But attacks on people of color, and particularly our youth, for too many years, labor has been silent.
That's right.
And it's wrong. And it's because of racism and white supremacy in the labor movement.
Right.
But ILWU Local 10, the union that refused to unload cargo from South Africa for 11 days. And when Nelson Mandela made his tour, he talked about Local 10.
Right.
We saw the Nation of Islam, Marxist-Leninists, social justice activists, the interfaith community, all coming together. That's what makes revolution. An injury to one is an injury to all. We are all Oscar Grant. Thank you.
All right!
Thank you, Clarence. I just have a few words. First of all, it's heartening to see so many people out here to remember the brutal murder of Oscar Grant. I remember first seeing it on TV the night that it happened, 5 years ago, and my wife said to me as we were watching television, "That's a young man that works at Farmer Joe's." And of course, she's better at recognizing people than I am. But the fact of the matter is, he's from this community. That's why I think we have such a powerful turnout today. And we live in an integrated community here. It's black, brown, Asian, white, and we all need to come together. And the best way, the power that we have as a social organization is through the trade union movement. Now, I bet you don't know that the BART workers, when they were out striking, by the way, they were striking for all of us. They want to raise up the level for all of us, not bring it down the way the BART Board of Directors wanted to do. But the BART rank and file workers wanted to have a rally here at Fruitvale Station because it was a BART cop who killed Oscar Grant. And they wanted to say loud and clear to the community that they stand with us against the police attacks. But the union officials in the BART unions wouldn't allow that to happen. And that's what Clarence was addressing. There's a problem in the labor movement today. We got to get back to our roots, rooted in the community.
That's right.
In the integrated communities. In the trade unions, we have the ability to stop these kinds of police murders, and it's happening all too often. Alan Bluford, you know, I can go on and on to mention the black and brown youth that have been brutalized and murdered by police. It's got to stop, and the trade unions can play a role in this, all right? Not just what the Longshore Union did, but what the BART workers attempted to do. That's what's going to get the trade unions back on their feet. The same time that Oscar was murdered by BART police, other black youth were brutalized by the police, and they now have a court case for that. We need to let the powers that be know that the community stands behind the youth who were brutalized, not killed, but brutalized. They could have been killed like Oscar Grant. They need to win that suit, and the Longshore Union had a suit similar to that in 2003. We should